You are here because the outside world rejects you.
I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice.
Come on, let's get nuts.
This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
I made a buddy.
Come on, Peter Tingle.
Here we go.
What's up? What's up? What up?
What's up, Cameo?
What's up, my dude?
We started the show, our newest addition, Chris Stum. He's joining us too. You saw him as he brought the pizza to the show.
He did.
As any good producer does, right? Of course, if he's a real producer, he'll eat all the pizza before we get to it. And so,
Yep.
I feel like that's how it goes. So anyway, Cameo, I got some things I want to ask you about real quick before we get started, because obviously we're going to talk about Spider-Man and we're going to kind of talk about Hawkeye before the actual last show. We'll kind of give our predictions for the season finale of Hawkeye. But I saw a article in which 50 Cent. And me and you used to be on the same hip hop station and played a lot of 50. A lot of 50.
21 Questions.
Oh my gosh.
In the club.
So many 50. Like I swear, like we were playing him twice an hour, different songs, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So here's my question.
Go ahead.
He said he's going to make another album and then he's going to hang it up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he still says he's like the top in the top 10 or whatever rappers of all time, living, dead, past, present. And I would say definitely not.
Not top 10. Not top 10 at all.
I wanted to see what you thought though, because, like he was very successful. He was super successful for a time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But I don't really see like the longevity there. You see what I mean?
Yeah, he's not up there. I would say maybe top 50.
Yeah, well, yeah. You got to put him in the top 50. Yeah.
You see what I did there? No, but that wasn't planned. I was just actually not really top 50. But yeah, he's not up there top 10.
And I mean, I don't have any numbers to show you. He could be talking about money made off of record sales. Cause like I said, for a minute there, he was super hot, but I don't think he would be in the top 10 of that either. So
no,
I don't want to like count down our top 10, but like who's some of like who would you consider like the best rapper?
The best rapper?
Yeah. Of all time.
Of all time. That is kind of hard.
But just throw out a couple that would be in the running.
Okay, I'll give you my top 5. We'll do that.
Okay.
And it's not in order. But we got to go with KRS-One.
Okay. All right.
I love Busta. Can't go wrong with Busta.
Yeah, because I mean, he's the guy who is the best at that, like what do they call it? The rapid fire style.
Yeah. You got what's his name? Oh my Lord. Nas,
yeah.
Biggie.
Of course.
And Tupac.
Okay, I disagree with Tupac.
Wait, Cameo, no love for 2 Chainz?
No.
Oh my God. Anyways, who's this guy?
Okay, so like I feel like Tupac is sort of like Jinko's. Like as we get further from the 90s, I don't respect it as much.
See, with Tupac, it's different. I wouldn't say he's so much of a rapper than a poetic lyricist.
Sure.
And that's the kind of stuff that I like.
Yeah.
I like that poetic stuff.
But
and
see,
that's how,
like in this day and age, I would put Kendrick Lamar above Tupac.
Yeah. I would say J. Cole would be up there too.
Drake?
But
no, I wouldn't. I don't.
Oh my God, who is this guy?
Drake, I would put Drake in the 50 Cent, like whatever category.
Brad, who is this guy?
That's Chris Stum.
I'm younger than you guys. Come on.
Oh my God.
But But yeah, like Tupac, everybody loved Tupac, you know what I mean? People still do. I just think like judging his talent now that he's not like the force that he was.
Yeah. He's
like
part of the
Biggie,
force now.
Yeah. Biggie Smalls, much better. Tupac was good, but like as we go, like Nirvana, you know, they were huge in the 90s. They were a cultural thing, like, you know, like Tupac. But then as time goes on, like I listen to their music a lot more and I'm like, they weren't that talented. They were just really relatable.
Yeah.
They knew what people wanted to hear at the time, and that's, you know, or they spoke to people, you know. Same with Pac. Right. But I just wondered what you would think about that, like if that was sacrilege.
50 Cent would not be in top 5, top 10, top 20, not even top 30. Like I mean, if he was, I would say he'd be 31 on the list.
Where would you put Shock G? Number 1. The Humpty Dance.
Okay, I gotta ask you guys, where do you put Eminem on the list?
I would put him top 10.
Top 10 for sure.
I would put him top 10.
Yeah.
I'd have to really make my list though. I might regret saying that like once I put pen to paper, but I feel like he would fit in the top 10.
Oh, most definitely. And I know some people that have him in their top 5. And you know, arguably, I would not mind putting him in my top 5. I would not mind replacing Tupac with Eminem to be in my top 5.
That's a big statement.
I mean, Eminem is cold. It doesn't matter if you didn't like his albums between, oh my goodness, what was that one? Was it Rehab? That it was just like, why did you put this out? Even that album had some cold stuff on it. And I will say that, you know, Eminem has some hits and some misses, but he has more hits than he does misses. So
yeah, you know who I love? I love me some Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, definitely top 10. Definitely top 10.
And some DMX.
Oh yeah,
DMX
I would
also
put DMX
top 10
in the top 10 probably.
Yeah,
but everybody can't be the top 10.
No,
you know,
Dr. Dre, I wouldn't put in the top 10 as a producer. Yeah, top 10 with a bullet, maybe top 5. But as a rapper, don't let me slip, because if I slip, I'm slipping.
Yeah,
bro. That's
don't
trash.
Slip.
That's garbage.
Don't.
You need to have
Ice
Cube write your lyrics again. That's what he needed at that point.
Right. Right. Don't slip like Chris has been slipping. Talking about Drake.
Talking about Drake.
Talking about Drake.
Drake is
Drake is what?
Modern day top rapper.
Oh my! Not even today.
Oh come on! He's the best rapper in the game right now.
No, he's
I don't
a
even
pop
consider
artist.
him a rap. Yeah, exactly. I would say
he's a pop artist.
That's what I would consider. Now you want
not
to say,
a rapper.
You want to say he's
a
top 10 pop artist? I'll give you that.
He's a pop artist that raps. That's what he does.
I'll tell you what. He's
and I like Drake. I like Drake.
Second best Canadian rapper. I'll give you that. Behind
there you go.
Informer, blah 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 blah. I think boom, boom,
Snow.
yeah.
Top 10.
Anyway.
All right. So Chris has on our newest Nerds to Men t-shirt. Thanks to Derek Sharp. He's a tattoo artist at No Regrets Tattoo down in the Plaza District here in Oklahoma City. So he does a lot of dope tattoos. You probably seen him on my body. And he did that cool logo, and now we have the shirt. So I did a small run this time, basically for our Patreon supporters and the people who are on the shows. But we're going to do like a pre-order soon. And so if you want a shirt, we'll keep you,
and I'm telling you,
advised. Yeah.
Sometime next year, you got to get ready for the new shirts. They're already worked up. Brad has already seen it. Yeah. And I'm telling you, you are going to want this next shirt for sure. And you should.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you should want the shirt that Chris has on right now. So
shirt.
I mean, you can't get much better than this until you see the next shirt.
I'm
it's just going to keep
wearing
getting better and
Cameo's
better.
Face.
Yes.
And Brad's fans.
Chris, how many chicks have you picked up in that shirt so far? Probably you're probably beating them away with a stick. You don't have to answer that. Cameo. So I think what we're going to do though is we're going to have a shirt store so people can get all kinds of shirts. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. So speaking of dope, patreon.com/dopepods. That's where you can get our podcast ad free, other than the ads we run about ourselves. So it's $1 a month, and it's probably going to be that way for a little while. So sign up, and you'll probably get one of these dope T-shirts. It's Nerds to Men. So that's that. There's two ways. You can either sign up for the pre-sale and buy one, or you can get one for like $12 over a year. So, and then you get all of our stuff ad free. Who knows? Chris might even start his own podcast and put it on the Dope Pods channel. And then you can hear Chris unfiltered, unedited,
unbothered. I don't know.
Yeah. So, okay.
And him talk about Drake being the best rapper.
There you go. There you go.
I'm never going to live that down, am I?
If you're out there and you're like, I also think Drake is top 10 rapper, then you're going to want to listen to Chris's pod. Probably more than ours.
Yeah.
So that's what's up, as they say. Okay, let's get into Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
No Way Home.
So much to talk about.
I gotta say though.
Worst movie ever. Worst movie ever.
I gotta say spoilers. spoilers. All the spoilers.
Spider-Man dies at the end.
God, Cameo. See,
God dang it, Cameo.
The thing is, one of the reasons why we just do spoilers is because Cameo's just going to spoil it anyway. It won't matter.
Yeah.
If we say, okay, no spoilers. And that's another reason why we, don't do it live so much anymore. Because Cameo would have ruined it for everybody who didn't know that Spider-Man dies at the end.
Tom Holland dies in the first 5 minutes.
So I want to just kind of start. First of all, I'm going to go crazy and say that you guys know I'm not even the biggest Spider-Man guy out there. I really didn't. I kind of liked Andrew Garfield's first The Amazing Spider-Man movie. I didn't, being a Sam Raimi fan too, kind of surprising, but I really didn't like any of those movies. And then when Tom Holland took over, I was like, okay, I like this dude as Spider-Man. That works. But this movie, I think, might be one of the best comic book movies of all time, and definitely one of the best Marvel movies of all time.
Yep.
Anybody dispute that?
I'll say for me, because I love Black Panther. Black Panther was my stuff. But Black Panther was never really one of my favorite heroes like Spider-Man was. So being a Sam Raimi Spider-Man fan from the beginning of, all of this, I mean, come on now. Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire, that first and second Spider-Man film was phenomenal. They were in my top 5 Marvel films. But the way that No Way Home came together was, oh my goodness, the best. I mean, it took from 2002, I believe, 2002 was the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, up until 19 years later, we get Spider-Man No Way Home, and everything came full circle. It's the best Spider-Man film. I would say the best Marvel film that has been put out. I know a lot of people might hate me for saying that, but I don't care. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. That it's Spider-Man's my boy. So
Cameo, Brad, I'd have to say definitely the top Marvel movie of all time. Top 3 next to Shang-Chi and Endgame.
Oh,
for me.
I thought you were going to say Degrassi High for some reason.
right?
Oh, come on.
If Degrassi was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then yeah, that'd be his
I'd be
top
done.
5.
Yeah. Okay,
No.
wait, where did you put it behind Endgame or ahead of Endgame?
No. So Spider-Man No Way Home
Uh-huh.
and then Shang-Chi.
Okay.
If I'm basing it off of movies this year, right?
Mhm.
And then previous movies after that, Endgame. And the only reason I say Endgame is because that epic fight scene at the end. If it
Well,
weren't for that, Endgame probably wouldn't have been worth it.
I didn't love Endgame as much as a lot of people did, and I definitely think that this movie was way better than Endgame. That's just me.
I saw somebody on TikTok, was saying that the movie was really good. It wasn't as hyped up as people were making it. This guy put Endgame in front of No Way Home.
What the heck?
And yeah, dude, they're like Endgame, and this is what I'm basing it off of, how it was better than Endgame. There was no lull points in the whole film.
No.
It was 2.5 hours that felt like an hour. Like I felt like I watched like a special on Disney Plus. It went by so quick. There was nonstop movement from the beginning, and it wasn't like, oh my goodness, I can't keep up. I don't know what's going on. No, it was very methodically planned out to a T. There's no way that you can say that Endgame, Infinity War, Avengers movies, Thor Ragnarok, which was the best Thor movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, you cannot say that those movies was better than this one. I would say the only other movies that could be even tied with Spider-Man No Way Home is Black Panther and Shang-Chi. There's just no other movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that was on par, except for those two other movies. I would say Infinity War would be on par with it, because there was a lot of stuff going on with that one too. But as a whole, Spider-Man was the best. I don't care. Be mad at me if you want to, people that are listening. Spider-Man was the best.
I mean, I agree.
No.
I agree. So I think all three of us have agreed on that.
Brad and I watched this together in the same theater for the first time. And I'm sitting here during parts of the movie, and I'm like sneaking an eye back to Brad, like, what are you thinking, bro? This just got real, and let me say too, we were sitting in a theater. That movie was supposed to start at 3:00. That movie did not start until 3:30. After all the previews and everything.
Oh yeah, that's why I got there at 3.
They used every second they could to advertise everything that they could before the movie, because they know it's the most anticipated movie of the year.
Yeah.
Well, and
I'll go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Cameo.
No, you go ahead. I talked a lot already. You go ahead.
Well, I was going to say to the fact that Chris was talking about, we were at the first showing at IMAX, and so a lot of people there were there because they were just jacked to see Spider-Man, and so and we'll talk about these moments, but people were cheering, people were clapping, which I haven't really seen since a Star Wars movie back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, I can't remember the last time I've seen people cheering and clapping as much as they did.
Yeah, I think the last time I didn't have anybody cheering except for me. There was some oohs and ahs throughout the movie, but when big parts came, again, spoilers. This is spoilerific about Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you don't want to hear anything about what I'm about to say, then you better turn it off right now. But anyways, when Daredevil showed up, I was like, oh snap. Nobody said anything.
Oh, our theater went crazy.
When
Chris took off his shirt.
When both of the other Spider-Men came, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, I was like, oh snap, yeah. Woo. Nobody did that. At the end, when he got his classic blue and red suit, I was like, yes. Nobody did anything. And I was so upset. I was just like, am I not the only one excited about this? But
I
wondering.
I think part of this is because you went on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Well,
You didn't go on opening night.
Right.
And I think also too that half the people that were there had already seen it, so they weren't in the same mind frame as I was, because it was my first time seeing it. But I think if I went to go see it tonight, I'd be like, yes, woo!
Yeah.
I would still do it.
Yeah. Well, the
I would still
crowd
do it.
The crowd popped at those moments for sure. And then there was a few times, like, you know, the different villains that showed up. A few lines that were thrown out that were used in the other movies, you know, people appreciated that. And one of the things that, you know, we're talking about, because this movie was Tom Holland's like culmination of all the other two movies and his appearances in the other movies. Like, this is what it's all built up to for him, for his character. But then we did get to go and see, okay, you know, like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and their characters, where they're not really a good look at where they're at today, but somewhat of a peak. And then, like, could you ever imagine back in the day seeing Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer and George Clooney in one movie? That would have never happened. And I also wonder, like, if Tom Holland wasn't like cool, like if they had like some other Spider-Man that was like, no, I don't want to be in a movie with those guys. You know what I mean? I think it's cool that everybody's embraced this. And another thing that like really got people's, like I heard some people that were like, you know, they were excited in the crowd. Andrew Garfield, like at the end when he saves Zendaya.
Yeah.
And that was like, you know, opposed to what happened in the other movie, right? So that was like his, you know, his making it right for him too. And like, I mean, people were like, you know, like it was was a touching movie.
You know, I don't know if you were thinking this when they're sitting there and they're talking about their lives, right? Stuff that we know, but Tom doesn't, right? So like he lost his Gwen, you know, right after he's talking about, oh, well, you guys don't know what I'm feeling, right?
Right.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. All kinds
When he talks about how like you don't know how it feels to lose Aunt May, like I just lost the most important person to me in my entire life, because Uncle Ben was never really a part of his, you know, I mean it was, but he wasn't. They didn't make a big deal of it. But anyways, like when he lost her, he like blew up, right? And he just like disappeared off the face of the earth, which is why they were like, find Peter Parker. Find Peter Parker. And I just thought like the entrance for Andrew Garfield was just like, it brought back this whole like awkward, like Peter Parker type love that I had for his Amazing Spider-Man, right? And he's like, he just like hops in like a bunny, you know?
Yeah.
I just feel like the redeeming aspect when they're talking about that whole Gwen Stacy conspiracy and not a conspiracy. When Gwen Stacy falls and dies and everything, he couldn't catch her. Based off what I'd seen in the trailer, I was like, oh, I'm putting two and two together now, right? You know, I'm like, okay, so somebody's going to save her. At least I hope, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, there was a lot of people that before the movie even came out, I was, you know, listening to people's theories on what's going to happen. And at this point, nobody knew for sure if Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield was going to be in the film. But we all knew that they were. They were saying that at that part where Andrew Garfield saves MJ, that it was never really going to be Tom Holland. It was going to be Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Because of what happened in his movie. And I just thought, you know, one of the funny parts is when they were on the scaffolding, it was hilarious in the fact that when Andrew Garfield was basically downplaying himself and was like, oh, I'm not good, blah, blah, blah. And Tobey Maguire was like, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Like just like showing that it. And, you know, Brad and I talked about this on the phone, and it was like, you know, he redeemed himself.
Yeah.
I never thought that, you know, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was horrible. I never thought that. And I loved both of those movies. but again, I'm biased because I love Spider-Man so much. Like you put anything Spider-Man out, I'm going to love it. Now I haven't watched Spidey and his friends or whatever's on Disney Plus, but anything, almost anything Spider-Man related, I love. And I mean, that part was hilarious. And I'm hoping that part was foreshadowing some more Amazing Spider-Man films.
Well, the people have been calling for the Amazing Spider-Man 3, and some people are also saying, and I think that this would be great, actually, that it should be him and Tom Hardy's Venom, which I think makes sense.
I would like that
because they're a little more like the same age group than like, Tom Hardy and Tom Holland, so I'd be down for that, right? Like,
yeah.
Because I think now, like, honestly, I didn't love the Amazing Spider-Man movie. I thought the first one was really good, and I was excited about the second one, and I haven't even fully watched it all. I think I turned it off probably like 30, 45 minutes into it. I was like, this wasn't as good.
Were you not a fan of Electro or what?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I'd have to watch it again to tell you.
You know what I felt like the Amazing Spider-Man was all about was it was more of a soap opera Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why a lot of people didn't care for it, because it wasn't so much focused on him being a superhero. It was to me, it kind of focused on his Peter Parker half. And I know a lot of people didn't like his Peter Parker because they thought he was too cool for school.
Yeah.
And, I get that. I totally get that. And that's, I didn't like that part either, going back and like, yeah, he was kind of too cool. He wasn't, wasn't really bullied by anybody. I mean, he got punched by Flash in the first movie. I mean, you get punched once. Everybody gets punched once in school. But yeah. So, again, I think Andrew Garfield redeemed himself, and I think Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker, saying that he's amazing and giving the fact that his little talk in the laboratory saying that he was a darker Spider-Man and he stopped pulling his punches. I'm like, man, we got to see that. We got to see that in Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
We got to see like a darker side.
It sets it up as a possibility. I don't know that they'll ever go back to it.
I doubt
but it
will.
sets it up.
Yeah.
Like maybe that was their hope, that like if Tom Holland ever decided he wanted to take a step back, which we've seen articles about that already, that he's wanting to take a step back now and let others take up their potential for Spider-Man, which I hope doesn't happen, but I'd like to see all three.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're getting 3 more with Tom Holland. I really do.
Oh, most definitely. I think the third one, and I was thinking about this too. Like, what if this was the last Spider-Man for Tom Holland? What if this was it? Like there's really nothing else that you could do to top this movie. Like, you really got to try hard to top this movie. And I think the only way they can do that is we're going to plateau, or actually, I think we're going to have a drop, build up, and then we're killing off Spider-Man and bringing in Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Because Electro, or a live action Miles Morales, because, Electro saying what he did, he was like, man, you're from Queens, you do this. I thought you was black.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That would be amazing to have Miles Morales to be in it.
Well,
to be the following.
The reason I think we're going to get more Tom Holland, though, is like, yes, he's had all these movies, and especially the 3 Spider-Man movies now, but these movies are really like, especially because you get to the end and what happens, where he's more of his own Spider-Man now. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I was just saying, like, these 3 movies are his whole origin story, like, to really set him up as Spider-Man. So now I think that we'll get a few different stories. The only thing that is weird to me still, though, okay, is in Tom Holland's world, which is the official Avengers and everybody else's universe, there still is no Doc Ock. There's no Green Goblin. There, you see what I mean? Like, none of those
and that's
people.
I don't think we need it though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just don't know though, because
let
like,
him have his own villains, like Kraven the Hunter, or like, you know, it doesn't always have to be Doc Ock, Green Goblin. You know, like,
well, yeah, but it would be like
Sandman.
it would be like if this new Batman movie, like the Joker, the Riddler, none of them were in it. You know, like I know the Joker's might not be in it, but you know they still have the Riddler, Catwoman. You see what I'm saying? Like everything's so different in Tom Holland's world. Now there's all kinds of jokes and foreshadowing. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, well, before we get into that, when you said, you know, he's coming to his own now, that's how it should have been from the beginning. And I think a lot of people would have liked that more. But I mean, with MCU's timeline, it just didn't work. And I think Kevin Feige knew that, and this was planned from the jump. Like, okay, well, we're going to do this. We're going to do this and this and this. And guess what? We're going to close everything out to where Peter Parker or Tom Holland can be his own Spider-Man. And I think this is, you know, losing spoilers, losing Aunt May.
I cried. I got a little tear.
Dude.
I cried too.
Man, my wife said that the guy next to her, not me, was crying profusely.
I wasn't crying profusely, but I had a little.
Okay.
I was misty.
When we talk about Aunt May's, like all of the Aunt May's, this is my Aunt May. Like
this
is
Aunt May.
your Drake. This is your Drake of Aunt May's. Got it. Okay.
Oh, come on, guys.
This is the first Aunt May that I could say that I could be Uncle Ben. You know, like
right.
Yeah. So if you want to say she's my Aunt May, yeah, Marissa Tomei, man. But she's great.
Yeah.
Like I really liked
Tony
her.
Stark's Aunt May.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But go ahead.
But
Kenny.
honestly, though, it was. I don't know, dude. I am like over the top excited for this movie and what possibilities it can bring. But like I was saying earlier, I do love now that Spider-Man is on his own, and that's the way it should. That's the way it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember a lot of people, you know, complaining about, oh, Spider-Man never wanted to be an Avenger. You know, he was never a team player. You know, he always, you know, he worked in teams, but it was more the fact that, oh, well, I have to, not because I wanted to. So I like this. I like this where it's going. And to talk about what Chris was saying earlier about how there's not or how Tom Holland wants to step away. But I also read too that Tom Holland said that he'll stay Spider-Man basically as long as they want him to be Spider-Man. So, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Tom,
I think like you said, though, I think eventually he will pass it on to somebody else. And it's nice that Tobey Maguire and Andrew have done the same thing by coming back for this movie. Well, one thing I didn't want to cut you off, but one thing I was just going to say was I really loved their interactions through the whole movie. And that's what I loved about the whole movie in general was like, just the emotional roller coaster that it was. You were happy, you were sad, you know, like they're cracking each other's backs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was moments like that it was just kind of mundane, but then there was all this big crazy stuff too.
Right. And you know, too, I like the fact that whenever Aunt May passed away, before that part, and it kind of foreshadowed just a little bit whenever and is this something with Marvel and hallway fight scenes?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, God. But anyways, that I would say that was the best fight sequence between Green Goblin and Spider-Man.
God. Dude.
That was the best. But real quick though, when he was on Green Goblin, just molly-whopping him. But what I was going to say is that he was pulling his punches. Spider-Man always pulls his punches because he never wants to kill anybody. What most people don't know, Spider-Man is probably one of the strongest heroes out there. and he pulls his punches. So it's just like, you know,
and they're just sitting there watching him do it too. Like,
right,
you're not stopping him.
And Willem Dafoe was just like looking at him, smiling. I was like, this right here is the best Green Goblin ever. He was sadistic. He was crazy. Oh my God, dude. Like, Willem Dafoe is amazing. I think he
You're
was
talking about William Dafoe. Remember, we've read this week that he only agreed to come back for the movie on simple terms, that he do everything, all his scenes, everything. He did not want to come back and have somebody else play the fight scenes or anything like that. It's got to be him. This guy is what, 70, 80? How old is he?
No, he's not.
He's quite old.
He's what?
He's quite old
60s?
and has the physicality to do all his scenes, you know?
Yeah, Tom Holland was saying that there would be days where he would come up sore and he would see Willem Dafoe like crouch down and getting into his scenes. He was like, man, this dude is amazing.
66.
Like, how's he's older than I am and I'm sore.
But like what? Like Stallone's like in his 70s and he's still doing Rambo stuff. So, you know.
Yeah.
But Willem Dafoe's in really good shape. I mean, he's always been. And like the other thing about him, he's just an amazing actor. Like,
he really is.
Those Sam Raimi movies, he was one of my favorite things about it. Like, I wasn't a big fan, but I love Willem Dafoe, you know. And we've always talked about how he would be great as the Joker, but God, he's really great as Green Goblin.
And the thing too is that he was more I would say more villainous in this movie than he was in the first Tobey Maguire. Now I don't know if that was like a director or a actor choice, but
I read that it was his choice.
Okay,
but it would make sense.
They gave him freedom to do whatever he wanted with this.
Okay,
movie.
well then it must have been a director's choice in the first Tobey Maguire, because Green Goblin is nuts. The way he killed Aunt May, that is, he doesn't hold back anything.
But that's what I'm saying. He needed to be like that in this movie to really bring out Tom Holland's dark side. If he would have been more of a fun villain, it wouldn't have been the same. So
right.
Can I say that I was a little disappointed in Doc Ock, just a bit?
Yeah. Why? Why is that?
I'd say that, like, I wanted to see more of his evil side first.
Yeah.
Right. And to learn, of course, that we knew that it was only the chip that really makes him evil, like, because the tentacles think for himself, you know?
Right.
But like, I feel like, yeah, he was introduced, he's part of the movie, but then Green Goblin steals the show. Oh yeah.
You know who I thought probably was one of the least like interesting was Sandman. I was like, meh.
Yeah.
I thought Lizard though, he didn't have very much either.
Which one was he? The Lizard? Is that who you said?
Guy.
Yeah, the Lizard. I thought you said Wizard. I was like, there was a wizard? I thought that was Doctor Strange.
You're talking Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no. But no, the Lizard. Yeah, him. Yeah, he didn't have much to do either. What movie was he from? The Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah, the first Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm really surprised we didn't see, we got a reference for Vulture in the movie, but I'm honestly surprised we didn't see him, because we didn't really see any of his versions of Tom Holland's versions of villains, right? I thought for sure we were going to get like a Sinister Six, you know, this whole time. Because way back in the day, if you remember with the Amazing Spider-Man, they set up the Sinister Six, you know, with everybody but Venom. So going back to where you were talking about a much darker one, I would love to see a dark movie with the Sinister Six, like a Batman style dark Sinister Six, which would be a great test for Marvel, because Marvel's not really the dark type of, you know, movie. That's more of a DC special. So
well, but if you're getting a Sinister Six on the Sony side, you probably would get a darker one. I've heard Morbius is pretty dark.
Which I'm excited to see Morbius too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what's going to happen with his film, like if he's going to be part of the MCU because of we have if you remember that one trailer where he's walking past a Spider-Man like art on a wall that was, saying that he was a murderer. So like what, and it was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man that was on the wall. So like, did Tobey Maguire kill somebody else that he didn't mention in this film in No Way Home? Or, like what was the,
Or is this a tie into both movies?
Yeah.
So or is it just an Easter egg? It could just be an Easter egg.
I mean, yeah, it could be. It could be. Could be.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved all the, like, just the references to all the other movies. And then like the fight scenes and the fight scenes like that they took out of the PS4 game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like some of those
they took
movies.
out Feast.
Yeah.
They introduced the Feast, Aunt May's, which is another reference because if you remember Miles Morales, that's where he gets his start too in the video game.
Yeah.
There are so many allusions to the fact that Miles Morales is coming in this movie. Like they could not be any more obvious that that's the path that they want to go.
Yeah.
And again, like I was saying earlier, that is going to be the next No Way Home film. Like that is going to be it. Like, so, I don't know if they're going to introduce him in the second part of the trilogy and then, Spider-Man and him fighting and then he dies in the third movie. But that's the only other way to make this next trilogy as good as this trilogy.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, Cameo, go one second. Before we're going to wrap it up pretty quick, but I wanted to know, you had a theory because there was like a really funny joke, but you thought you saw it more as foreshadowing where Ned finds out what happens, with Spider-Man's best friend in a different universe and thinks that they're talking about Ned in a different universe, basically, not knowing they're talking about James Franco's character. And he says, don't worry, I'll never, turn on you and kill you or whatever.
Yeah.
So you think that's exactly what's going to happen?
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Because we all know if you've seen the movie, and I hope you have, because we've been spoiling the mess out of this. But but we see at the very end where he tells Zendaya and Ned that he was going to come and find them and tell them everything. Well, seeing how happy they were, and not having to worry about him or him worrying about them getting killed because of they knowing him and whatnot. I think that's what's going to happen in these next three movies. I'm not sure when or where, but Ned is going to come and, get Tom Holland.
So he's going to go bald because, like he's bald in real life, right? Like he shaves his head.
Yeah.
Or he might be bald. Who knows? But like he'll be like a Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Villain. Okay, Chris, go ahead.
I was just going to say, to wrap up things, I want to talk a little bit more about the classic suit. Like to me, Cameo, my reaction was the same as you. Like I saw that classic suit and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like out of all the suits that we've seen for Tom Holland, and we've seen a lot of suits, right?
Yeah.
In the 5 movies that he's been in, right? We've seen all the video game suits and all those kinds of things. My favorite, the classic blue suit. Like a lot of people argue that Raimi trilogies was the classic suit. No. This is the classic suit. Another thing that I wanted to talk about before we wrap it up is how much they were joking about how, Tobey Maguire shoots his web fluid out from his.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
That was a good joke. They were talking about how he shoots it out from his hand.
Yeah.
And the other two were like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Does it come out from anywhere else?
Yeah, that was great. And Cameo can tell you, I called him right after the movie and I was like, dude, I don't want to tell you what it was, but there was a suit in this movie that they better make an action figure for because I got to have it. And it was that one because it was the classic, but then it was shiny and I like anything shiny. So
Yeah.
Cameo, I actually bought my first Spider-Man action figure the other day. It's not from No Way Home though. It's from Far From Home, but he's in the stealth suit.
Nice.
And if
So
anybody
you're talking about, are you going to buy the blue one or the black one?
No, well, if they put that one out, I'm definitely going to get the classic suit, but I ordered the black and gold suit too from the No Way Home. But yeah,
Nice.
this is actually the first Spider-Man I've ever bought, so wanted you to know.
There he goes, adding to his collection.
Yep.
Sweet.
I bought a couple others. We'll just do a six figures segment right now. I got the comedian Joker from
sweet.
It's pretty much, the what was the movie with the Joker, or the one where he shoots Barbara Gordon and
The Killing
Joke. Yeah, he's pretty much the Killing Joke Joker, but in the three Jokers, he's the comedian. And then there's the criminal Joker and the whatever. And so they put out the Three Jokers series, and I pre-ordered them back in like October, but for some reason the Batman, Red Hood, and the other two Jokers that I ordered are still not they're still out. They're saying now Christmas Eve they're supposed to ship, but who knows. But then this one
comes early.
This one was a GameStop exclusive, so I'm guessing that's why they had this one already, so I got it. But McFarlane, and then check this out.
Oh,
Is that Venom
Yeah.
Spider-Man?
No,
Nice,
just Venom,
nice.
but yeah,
that's sick.
yeah, dude. I saw it the day before I got paid at Vintage Stock, and there was two of them, and I was like, I gotta get one. But I came back the next day, and where they had them, they were gone. I was like, oh man, somebody already got it. I knew it. And then I went back to the glass case, and it was sitting in there, and I was like, please open that and give it to me right now. So,
Brad, you know what I feel about the classic suit. Do you want me to do it here or the next segment?
do you have it on right now?
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what we talked about on the phone. What I'm thinking is going to happen.
Oh yeah. Let's
You want to do it here and segue into?
Oh no. Save it.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I think I know what you're talking about too.
So yeah, let's go ahead. We're gonna shift gears here and come back to that.
But
in a
wait,
little
real
bit.
quick.
Go ahead.
Chris, out of 3 crying Kevin Smiths, what would you rate this movie?
Out of 3,
Yeah.
Craig? 3.
All right. And a Drake. Okay, we got that. So
Hey, leave me alone with that, man.
Brad.
I would give it 5 crying Kevin Smiths.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know more was an option.
It's
Well,
not
I
for
gave you
you.
Drake,
I'm
so-
the director, so if I want to give it 5, I can. Cameo?
Also a 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, you can change yours to 5 if you want.
No, I give it a 15.
Well, I'm not putting
You can't do that.
I'm not
Can't do
putting
that.
15 Kevin Smiths up on the screen, so y'all can kiss butt.
And
on
there's
that.
nothing else, But I wonder what Kevin Feige's thoughts on the whole movie were.
Oh, he's got to think it's like a success, a huge
He's like,
success.
he's like, man, I'm rich.
yeah.
I'm so rich.
I'm rich, bitch.
I don't think it's about being rich for him, though. I think it's about like satisfaction.
Oh, dude, this dude is so happy with how this movie ended. Like ended, however you want to look at it. He is so happy that, and I don't know if you know this, but I heard that he was on as an assistant for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
He was.
So him starting from there, building this whole universe over what, 10, 11, yeah, basically 19 years from that Spider-Man. Like, this has to be something so special to him. And I mean, like, I feel like I was a part of the movie because this meant everything to me. everything. And like I was telling my wife this today, I was like, I feel like I'm a part of the movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't do a dang thing. I just funded it. So I mean, I guess we all kind of are part of the movie because we funded it. But I mean, it's just like this is something that all comic book nerds wanted and needed.
You know, I was 8 years old when the first movie came out. 8 years old. And I'm 27 now. So I don't know if that makes you guys feel old or not, but
yeah. Yeah.
Just, you know, this has very much been a part of my entire life.
Mm.
Yeah, because I was probably like 18 or 19, I think, when the first Spider-Man came out, and I was like, you know, man, there hasn't ever been a Spider-Man movie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There were cartoons and stuff, of course, like all.
Right.
It was unheard of.
One thing I did see in the credits, and I saw him mention it on his Twitter, they credited Dan Slott, and he was saying it's the first time he's been credited in any movie, so I thought that was cool. That
is kind of cool.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Hawkeye real quick before we end the show tonight. Hawkeye is on Disney Plus. How many episodes are out right now? 7, 6?
5.
5, and there's only going to be 6 episodes. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's the only thing I don't like about Hawkeye, really, is that the episodes are very short. But every episode, at the very end, I'm like, oh, that was so good. I need
more.
Yeah.
Give me more.
So it's going to be a good one to like go back and watch them all, like, you know, in 2 hours, basically.
Yeah.
Can we just throw the stone out here real quick and talk about the bird in the room?
Go ahead.
Episode 5.
Oh.
Yes.
Kingpin.
Yeah.
Kingpin.
Yes.
Kingpin. Okay, so when I saw Kingpin, I was like, okay, Daredevil's a for sure thing in Spider-Man. Like, it's got to be.
Yeah.
You know, like, because you don't bring one back without bringing the other. And we already knew that, you know, that he was returning as Daredevil because we saw the articles, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I was like, Kingpin's got to be here. Kingpin's got to be here. And they referenced him so many times. The big guy, like, you know, you're talking about Italian mafias and, like, you know, like,
yeah.
If it were anybody else, I would have been surprised. Now, the question here is, how is he related to Valentina?
I mean, what does she do again? I can't remember.
She's assembling the Dark Avengers.
Oh, no. I'm thinking of Kate Bishop's mom. Sorry. I know.
Yeah, Kate Bishop's mom, but the theory is that Valentina is the aunt.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And
then the mother is working with Kingpin, who plays as the uncle, except that Kate Bishop doesn't know who he is. So then that kind of, he's like, who is this guy? You know? Yeah. So I see a lot there, but I think my favorite part, other than the big bomb drop at the end of episode 5, was that the chemistry between Kate Bishop, and Yelena.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, the significance of her saying, yes, Kate Bishop. Yes, Kate Bishop.
I love that whole interaction between them. That was a great
macaroni and hot sauce.
Yeah, that was a great scene. I love that they brought Yelena into this, and I would like to see a Yelena and Kate show. Just them.
Well, hey, you know, that might actually happen. Young Avengers.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
nice. Now I gotta say, one of my favorite things, and me and Cameo didn't even talk about it when we talked about the first 2 episodes. One of my most favorite things about this whole season was watching Hawkeye, Clint, LARP.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was great.
That was pretty good.
That was
too.
Huh?
You see Kate do it too.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh,
slightly. Like, it was a quicker scene.
Yeah. Okay.
She, you know, kind of like, it wasn't as like an action-filled scene like we do with Clint Barton.
Yeah, yeah.
She had to go by and do the same thing. She had to do a few things, right, in order to get what she wanted back. You know.
Yeah.
But I just like the chemistry between. Oh, you're Hawkeye. You're Hawkeye. Like, he's like, I'm just an average dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not Hawkeye. I'm an average guy.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoyed, because that's the kind of the thing is like people don't necessarily recognize him as much as all the other Avengers and stuff like that. And like that's why I love the LARPing scene because like he begrudgingly almost looked like he enjoyed it there for a second.
Yeah.
I think he did.
So that was worth it too. But like I say, it's gonna be good to go back and just watch them all again, like back to back to back to back. But so tomorrow, I guess. No, Wednesday. This is a Monday. It might be Wednesday before people see this, but there's going to be the last episode. And I feel like I saw somewhere that they said this one's going to be a little bit longer. Kingpin.
It's supposed to be like an hour and a half.
That'll be nice. Like
with 15 minutes of credits.
Yeah. But Kingpin, like the only thing that like I don't like about them introducing him here is I wish they would have done it like episode 2. And then we get like a lot of Kingpin, but I'll take whatever we get. So what do you guys think are going to happen?
I think the theory with Kingpin is that we're going to see him more in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I
would think so.
Like, they don't just introduce a big bad like that and not have a big plan for him.
Right. What do you think is going to happen to wrap this season up? And then Cameo, I want to hear yours because I know what your theory is.
Okay.
It's hard to say because if I'm basing it off of like the cartoons that we've seen with Kingpin and like just his overall physique of what he does, Kingpin, he doesn't really care about being a villain more so as being rich, So it's interesting that they introduce him now after the fall of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Right? Because we all know if they tried to introduce him during the Avengers, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. Because Kingpin isn't really like a super powered.
No, he's not like a Thanos or Yeah.
He's just really big.
Yeah. But and like with Kingpin and in the Daredevil show, they did like what they do with a lot of Marvel villains. They kind of give you like a sympathetic side to him, but then he's still like super, super bad dude, like you wouldn't want to have him smash your head in a car
I honestly
with a car door,
I have no idea where they're going to go with it. Emma, I mean, do you have any thoughts? Because you know more about Spider-Man than anybody, and we know that he pops up the most in Spider-Man and Daredevil.
You ready? Ready for this?
This is Hawkeye, though, that we're talking about tomorrow or this week. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, but like how he's gonna pop up, like you know more about Kingpin background than I do.
Go ahead, Cameo.
Well, this is I might be reaching on this one, and it probably won't happen.
It won't.
But if you have been reading the signs that were in No Way Home and you were basically keeping up with Hawkeye, I think it was the first episode they did the Steve Rogers musical about the Battle of New York. So as we see it at the very end,
how bad do you want to be in that musical?
So bad.
Who would you want to play? Who would you want to play?
Steve Rogers. We know it.
Nah, I'm not a Captain America fan.
Me either.
At all.
I hate him.
I would love to be Black Panther.
Even though he wasn't in the Battle of New York, just like Ant-Man's in there and he wasn't in it,
Right. But if I had to be out of the ones that were in there, I would love to be the Hulk.
Okay.
I'd be the Hulk.
I too like to smash.
Green, he's just painting green on his hand.
Yeah. He's wearing a green shirt.
Those toys, those toy Hulk smash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I too like to smash. So good call.
But as you if you saw him, when Spider-Man at the very beginning, Spider-Man was swinging through New York trying to get away from the paparazzi and the police and all that, there were tons of Steve Rogers, the musical banners, Sony banners, PlayStation banners, all of that. Well, we all know it's Christmas time during Hawkeye. So at the very end, you see Spider-Man swinging through New York in his classic suit. How awesome would it be if Kingpin is in this next episode? We see Spider-Man in Hawkeye. We finally get Spider-Man into the Disney Plus streaming services. Now, I'm not saying give Spider-Man a series on Disney Plus because I don't want that. I'm just saying like how Iron Man was in Homecoming, how Doctor Strange was in No Way Home. Kind of like that, like a cameo appearance.
Yeah.
How awesome would it be? Yeah. How awesome would it be to have Spider-Man show up at the very end of oh my goodness, of Hawkeye?
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
It would be awesome, but I think that's a stretch.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. But like, how crazy is it that, Spider-Man ends on Christmas time and Clint is trying to get home on Christmas Day. Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't think Daredevil was going to be in this. We didn't think Kingpin was going to be in the MCU. I mean,
what if we saw some of Clint or some Daredevil in this too?
Or we would have Daredevil in this. Like, honestly and truthfully, I'm hoping we see Spider-Man. And I was telling Brad on the phone that if we saw him in this outfit before he got the classic suit, so people seeing or that haven't seen Spider-Man yet and watched Hawkeye first, you see this suit or the one with the gold spider on his chest. You see that suit before you see the classic red and blue suit. So, I mean, again, I guess because I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go with that.
Well,
but
let me just.
How cool would it be though? Like,
it'd be great. It'd be great.
I mean,
I could see two. I could say one in one way. I think no, it wouldn't happen because the movie's still out, and you're not going to see Spider-Man on a TV show anytime soon. But it could be like kind of like an ad to get, in a way to get other people to be like, oh, I got to go see the Spider-Man movie or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you're watching Hawkeye, you probably already saw the Spider-Man movie. That's just what I think. But when you told me your theory earlier today, I was like, that's a cool theory, but I thought you meant like Spider-Man would end up showing up and then he gets his own show. And I'm like, they should never do that because
no.
Spider-Man's one of those like top tier guys that you save for the movie so that you get a $250 million opening. Yeah, exactly.
His own series, not movie, because we already did that.
But if you, like I say, if you gave him a series, then people wouldn't go flock to the theaters like they just did,
right,
to go see this movie. I think.
But the thing is too is that I remember when we went to that panel with John Bernthal when he was talking about The Punisher. He was like, movies are great. You got to love movies and how much they put effort into it. But the series is where it's really at. Because not only do you get X amount of episodes, so we'll say, Punisher got like 12, 13 episodes for his series.
Yeah, a lot.
That's 13 hours of a hero, anti-hero, whatever you want to call him. Like, I would love 13 hours of a Spider-Man series. I would love it. Do I think that it's needed? No. I mean, you put that in a movie and have him sprinkled in these little series. That's what I would like.
Yeah, I could see that.
I feel like what's more logical is that we get references to the Spider-Man movie, like more obvious now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like now that basically Spider-Man's got a fresh start per se, right? Nobody knows who Spider-Man is. Well, I guess they won't forget Spider-Man. They just forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right?
Who?
So like, no, but here's my theory. So the Avengers know they worked with Spider-Man. They just don't know who he is.
You were right. Yeah. Nobody would know, right?
You're right. And I love your theory, Brad, that like, I think it was you. What if also everybody forgot, or maybe this was Cameo, everybody forgot who Peter Parker was in the other realms too.
Oh, I hadn't even heard that. That wasn't my theory. Was that yours, Cameo?
Was that you, Cameo?
No.
Or maybe I was just reading it somewhere. I thought for sure it was one of you guys, but like,
That's interesting.
what if that happened too? Because then the Electro reference would make sense, right? Because Electro was the only villain who had never seen Peter Parker's face in the entire series. So I know we went back to Spider-Man. I'm just excited about Spider-Man.
You know, we could. I'll bring up one more thing, and then we're gonna quit the show tonight. Somebody, I have seen this on Twitter and whatnot. Why didn't he just wish that nobody remembered Mysterio?
Or the events that was, because then they wouldn't have known.
Well, because he's an immature kid and didn't think about it.
Because then
but
there would be
also
no awesome movie that we all loved and want to see 5 more times.
Right. And listen to this real quick. There's some continuity issues with that, with what they did at the very end and with what you just said, Brad, because there's still video. There's still video of Quentin Beck saying Peter Parker is Spider-Man, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So
whether they remembered who that was or was not, they would still get the information.
Right.
Okay.
So
good.
I
feel like you debunked it.
Did that just disappear too?
You mean the video? Well,
yeah. Like what? Well, I guess technically, I guess that is true, because if that video never showed up, then nobody would know. So maybe that is true. Maybe the video never came up.
What I don't get is why he didn't just wish himself back in time.
Well, they said
he didn't have the time stone.
Right, but Doctor Strange was like, we already risked a lot doing that once. We can't really do that again just so that, people will forget you're Spider-Man.
And you're trying to get into MIT.
But they still kind of, screwed it all up. And did you say you saw Krang the Conqueror? Like, remember when the sky was opening up and you could see like the outlines of other people who were trying to get through?
Yeah.
Kraven, yeah.
Kraven, yeah, Krang.
And Rhino, the real Rhino.
Nice.
Not the Mecha Rhino, right?
Right. The real Rhino. Nice. The Rhino DNA mixed with human DNA, I guess.
You know who else I thought I saw?
Who?
A different version of Venom.
Topher Grace's?
Like,
no, I mean, seriously, like, I mean, you could see them bringing him back too. I think I
saw the version of Venom that Flash Gordon is.
You know what? I wanted to say something about that too. Venom, this is going to be the Flash Thompson Venom in Tom Holland's universe. That's going to be the Venom.
They're building the Spidey and Friends is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They got to. But I will rave if we ever get a Spider-Gwen, because I love Gwen Stacy.
Yeah. And that'd be cool if Emma... I mean, not according to Stan Lee. MJ's the best.
According to Stan Lee. May his soul rest in peace.
Co-creator of Spider-Man. So,
but I prefer MJ.
You mean Gwen?
Gwen, yeah.
Nope, you already said it. MJ.
I prefer
Drake?
Not as a love interest, but I prefer Gwen as like a superhero over MJ as a superhero.
What about Drake?
when I edit this show, I'm gonna, like, on the scene where people are standing, like, like Craven yes. and all that, I'm gonna put Drake off in the distance.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh, I will. You can believe that.
You won't do it.
Oh,
you won't do it.
Instead of 3 crying Kevin Smiths, do some 3 Drakes.
Yeah. On that note.
And that's how comedy works. You bring it back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think we're
That's
going to bring
fair.
it to the end. So,
Oh, well, yeah. You know,
all right. Thank you, Chris, for joining us, and he'll be back.
Yeah, no problem.
Have everybody else
Rick
have
is
a
the best
great.
rapper of all time.
Yeah. Ugh. Have a great week. Happy holidays and Cameo.
Keep it nerdy.
Smile and put on a happy face.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
That was awesome!
Freeze all motor functions.